Hello everyone, Mark from Haunted by Haunted and Three Souls Paranormal. Out here today in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, visiting the unknown plot of the victims from the Johnstown Flood that occurred on May 31st, 1889. Really devastated the entire city of Johnstown. Such a tragic way, too, that the series of events that led up to the catastrophic failure of the dam that burst several miles upstream, all the indications were there that the South Fork Dam was going to fail. But they never did anything to shore it up or to fix it, and as a result, 2,209 people died from the flood. There are 777 victims who are buried here in Grandview Cemetery, and this is the area known as the unknown plot, where it's just markers. There are no names to match up with each individual marker. I mean, a lot of the victims were never even found, as the massive wall of water just completely inundated Johnstown. On that late spring afternoon into evening in Johnstown, Pennsylvania in 1889. Just row after row of unmarked graves here in Grandview Cemetery, which in itself is an extremely impressive cemetery. I mean, it literally takes up this entire hillside. I mean, it goes way back over there Very beautiful cemetery here in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Yeah, like I said, I've always been fascinated by the Johnstown Flood, even though I'm from further west around the Pittsburgh area. But a lot of the very well-off people who lived in the Pittsburgh area were members of the club that originally built the dam, the South Fork Dam. And they definitely had the money available and the funds available from the various millionaires who belonged to the club back from Pittsburgh, like Andrew Carnegie, for instance. They definitely had the money to fix the dam or to shore it up, but they never did, and this is the net result. Over 2,200 people died whenever that wall of water completely inundated Johnstown, the Conemaugh River Valley there. And this is just slightly over 1/3 of the victims of the flood catastrophe. $777 are buried here of the 2,209 victims that are officially listed as victims of the Johnstown Flood. It could be more than that. Very, very somber standing here and just looking at row after row of victims who were just living their everyday life in Johnstown whenever that wall of water came rushing down through the river valley. Now, it had stormed several days leading up to the dam failure. Whenever the dam gave way, so there was some imminent sense that the dam may collapse. But the folks of Johnstown were never warned. And this is the end result. The irony is just how peaceful it is here up on the hillside here on top of the hill. Stark contrast to the catastrophe that occurred in May of 1889. I'll walk up here and get a view from the front whenever you first come into the entrance of Grandview Cemetery. Just rows and rows of markers for the victims. And you can see no names, nothing to really give any proper burial because of just how devastated the entire community was by the flood. Like I said, I've always been fascinated by the Johnstown Flood story. And I think one of the reasons why was just because of the sheer neglect. People of Johnstown were just treated like garbage, basically, by the well-off people who built the dam that eventually collapsed. And I know a lot of these souls have to have a lot of unrest because they were just living their everyday normal lives when that massive wall of water hit Johnstown abruptly. Once again, this is the Grandview Cemetery in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. The unknown plot of the victims of the Johnstown Flood. Thank you for watching, everyone.